Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a compare and contrast between Ninja's three ice cream makers. You've got the Ninja Creami NC301, the Ninja Creami Deluxe NC501, and the brand new Ninja Creami Breeze, the NC201. I kind of felt like they went a little bit weird with their model numbering, but
who cares?
So you ready? Let's get into this. Just a quick note, our reviews are based upon the things that we think are important. That might be a little bit different for you, so what we recommend doing is after watching our video, you watch a couple of other videos from different content creators. That way you'll get a little bit wider range of opinions. That'll help you make a much more informed buying decision, and that is the most important thing of all. Alright, here's our three machines. Right here we have the Ninja Creami NC301. This is a 7-in-1 machine. They do make a 5-in-1 machine that came out before this called the NC300. That's out of production, and the ones you can get now are probably refurbs, so I'd probably steer away from that if I saw it online. That and the price difference is probably going to be negligible with this one. This is the Ninja Creami Deluxe 501, and this one came out just about a year or so ago. It's got a few more functions, and sadly a couple of functions that were taken away. But the biggest thing about this is that the Creami pint holds 3 cups instead of 2 cups like the old machine. And finally, this is the brand new Ninja Creami Breeze that just came out. The model on this is NC201, which is sort of weird because it kind of makes you feel like you're going backwards. This is also a 7-in-1 machine, and actually it's almost identical to the original Ninja Creami. It's got the same function set as that one. It's got the same size pint, but the biggest difference is that it's a tiny bit more quiet, it's a little bit more streamlined, and the obvious difference is that this pitcher right here has gone away, and you just take the pint and it goes directly into the machine. To save a little bit of time for you, we're not going to review all these machines over again. We're just going to go through the differences between the three to hopefully help you decide which one is best for you. If you'd like to see a review, we do have cards up at the top of the screen that you should see now, and those link to the reviews that we have online for all three of these machines. So that being said, let's get into the differences. The first thing we got to mention that we should just sort of get out there right away is that all three of these machines have the exact same motor, they have the same drive mechanism, and they all produce the same results on the functions that they have. If you're looking for one of these machines to produce better ice cream than the other ones, then you're barking up the wrong tree because they all produce the exact same quality end result. What? Normally I would say that that kind of sucks, seeing as how we have 3.5 years worth of machines here, but the end resulting ice cream that you get out of these machines is pretty fantastic. If you take a finished scoop of ice cream from all three of those machines, whether it be the 301, the Deluxe, or the Breeze, you're going to find out that they're pretty much indistinguishable from each other. So if that's your angle, you can't go wrong. Our first comparison will be a size comparison. So the 301 has a width of about 6 3/4 inches, a height of about 16 inches. You got a depth of about 11.5 inches. The Deluxe obviously is going to be a little bit bigger, 7 1/4 inches wide. This might be a tiny bit taller too, and it is a little bit. 16 3/4 inches tall, and as far as depth goes, we're talking about 12 inches. So this is a little bit bigger length, width, and height. The Breeze is the smallest machine, but it's not quite as small as you might think it is. It looks tiny, but it really isn't. You got a width of 6 inches, you've got a height of 16 right on the dot, and if we're measuring the depth of this, you got to keep in mind that this pint sticks way out since it's on an angle here. So that really does make the footprint a little bit larger. If you take your measurement from the end of the Creami pint to the back, then you're talking at about 12 inches here. But really, if we're talking about counter footprint, we're normally talking about that. So in that case, it's about 10 3/4, closer to 11. So really the size of this machine turns out being about the same size as that 301 over there. That's sort of surprising because I kind of thought this machine was going to be the smallest just by looking at it, but it looks to be deceiving. For our noise test, we ran all three machines on the light ice cream mode and measured using the sound meter on my phone. If you look at the results, the Creami 301 was the loudest by just a little bit. The Ninja Creami Deluxe was about 1.5 decibels more quiet. And then when we ran the Ninja Creami Breeze, you can see there's a pretty significant drop in decibels. As far as the built-in functions go, the original Ninja Creami's got ice cream, light ice cream, gelato, sorbets, smoothie bowls, milkshakes, and there's also a mix-in button. When you come all the way over here to the brand new Ninja Creami Breeze, you can see a little bit of a pattern here. Ice cream, light ice cream, sorbet, milkshake, smoothie bowl, gelato. Same exact preset functions as that original Ninja Creami. Normally you might think, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that the Ninja Creami Deluxe came out between these two machines. And with the Deluxe, you not only have the ability to process just the top, just the bottom half, or a full pint, but you've got the ice cream, light ice cream, sorbet, gelato, frozen yogurt, Italian ice, milkshakes, slushies, frozen drinks, and creamy chinos. So out of the box, this machine has a heck of a lot more function than either one of these other two. So when I picked up the Breeze over here, I was actually sort of shocked. I was expecting a little bit more function, something closer to what I was getting with the Deluxe. But what I wasn't expecting was going back 2 years to the old presets from a machine that's almost 3 years old. Now, before we go any further, here's a question I had to answer several times for people in the comments. Just because these two machines on the side say smoothie bowl and the Deluxe doesn't mean you can't make smoothie bowls in this. Same goes with something like frozen yogurt. You just gotta experiment and figure out how to do it. If you check out our Creami playlist, we actually do have one in there to show you how to make yogurt on this machine, and actually on that machine too, since it's pretty much the same. As far as our mechanical functions go, these two machines are very, very similar. Yes, the Deluxe has a whole bunch more features, but you can see the machines look very, very close together. As far as similarities go, I already mentioned that the motors and drive mechanisms are all the same, but also the pitchers are the same. Same kind of release. You pull that off, slide the lid off like this. You have your big lid here, with the paddle kind of embedded into the lid here, which gets released whenever you process some ice cream. Then you have an outer pitcher with your creamy pint that just goes right in there. You put the top back on, and with the original Creami, this would sit on here and you'd have to find where it fits on, and then you would turn it to lock it in. For the Ninja Creami Deluxe, like I already mentioned, we have all those extra features, but the one I liked the most was the fact that I was able to select how much of my ice cream I was going to be processing. And really the reason you can do that is because we have a much larger Creami pint. So we're going to release this one so you can take a look. This pops off the same way. Again, we got the same pitcher, except you can see that this pitcher is quite a bit bigger than this pitcher. The lid has the same construction as the original Ninja Creami, same seal, it's just that everything is just a little bit bigger. And the blade assembly is even a tiny bit bigger too. Has to be a little bit wider to accommodate the bigger pint. And then there's that same construction with the pitcher, and this pint is much bigger than this one. In fact, you can take the pint from the original Ninja Creami and you can just drop that right inside of this one. And you can see where the bottom of it is right there. There's still that much empty space down here. So really this thing is much, much bigger. And the reason it works out so well with all this drinkable stuff like the creamy chinos and everything is that we have a lot more space to add liquids to your frozen stuff. You can still do that with these, but it's a little bit harder and you're not going to get as much out of it, obviously. Now, while the original Ninja Creami, you had to kind of fish around and find the sweet spot for this to sit on the pad and lock it in, on the Ninja Creami Deluxe, this is slotted. So this thing slots straight in and just goes straight into the machine, and then you can go ahead and lock it into place. For me, that was a big improvement and it made getting the pitcher on and off of the machine a lot easier. So that was a big plus. Now moving along to our Ninja Creami Breeze. You can see that all of that pitcher nonsense is now gone.
The best part is no part.
All we have is the actual pint, and if I unlock this, you can see that that lid just screws straight onto the pint instead of having to go onto a pitcher. You just twist it off and you can see how much smaller this is. The pint's got these little arms attached to it because it needs something to be able to attach up into the machine. And if you look at the original Ninja Creami, you can either do this and be done, or you can do all of this stuff and have to put all that stuff together and lock it in. And even so, this thing sort of jiggles around on the machine a little bit and makes a little bit more noise. With the new machine, everything is just smaller and more streamlined. This just slides right up in here, a little bit of a twist, and it locks right in. Everything about this machine seems quite a bit more solid than the other machines. Down here, this is all just nice and sleek, which also is one of the reasons this machine just appears to be so much smaller. I have noticed too that when you're running these ice cream makers, this machine seems to run quite a bit cooler than the other machines too. So in the long run, that could mean to a little bit more longevity on this machine as well. And the last difference on this machine is the suction cups. This is the only one of the three that has suction cups built onto the bottom. Hear that? They're just up here on the front, and they're just pretty good at keeping this machine from twisting around on your table whenever you're processing ice cream. Just make sure the surface that you're putting it on is dry, and then you won't have any trouble with the machine moving around. As far as cleaning of the lids go, that is an issue that many people have mentioned. You can see all the inner workings of this thing, and this is not something that you can pull apart. So if I take the blade out here, if you can get moisture up in there, which you can, because I've seen it get in there before, there's really no way for you to clean out the inside of this thing. I've seen moisture get up into the sides here, but I haven't seen it get really into the other mechanisms too terribly much. So that might not be too bad, but for someone like me, I like to take things apart to clean, and in the case of this, you can't do that. As far as the new Creami Breeze goes, the lid just appears to be better constructed. But at the end of the day, it really is the same, it's just smaller. And you can't see inside it either, so you can't really tell if you're getting it clean or not. Probably if you clean it off and put it in the hot water and some soap between uses, you could probably keep the inside of this pretty clean, but it's also something that I can't really verify to any kind of really super accurate degree. So that's just one of those things where you gotta kind of just take it for what it is, I suppose. Also, I've had some subscribers mention that these lids break a lot and they've had to have Ninja send them replacements quite a bit. I'm thinking that's probably a better design. It does feel a lot more solid. So hopefully that's something that's been addressed in these newer machines. We haven't personally had any problems with really anything breaking on any of these machines. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means that we've maybe been a little bit more lucky in that regard. Hard to say, but it is what it is. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. There's one last thing about these machines that might be worth mentioning. If you order the Ninja Creami 301s, you can get these in a bunch of different colors. So I don't know if that's an important thing to you or not, but they make these in white, the gray right here, blue, red. Quite a few different colors are available. So if you're trying to coordinate with your kitchen, that might possibly be a little selling point for you. I don't know. For me, it wouldn't make me pick it over another machine because of that, but it is kind of a nice touch. It would be kind of nice if they offered that on all their machines, but wishful thinking, I guess. At the end of the day, if you're in the market to buy a Ninja Creami, you just got to kind of decide what's the most important to you. If you want the extra capacity, obviously the Deluxe is the way to go. Also with that machine, you get a couple of extra functions too. If capacity isn't a big deal and you don't care about the extra functions, probably the Ninja Creami Breeze is the way to go if you can get one. The Breeze and the 301 are pretty much the same machine, except they've really cut down on extra parts and they've made the machine a lot more sleek with that Breeze. However, if you go with the 301, you could probably get it in some different colors and you could probably get it a little bit cheaper as well. For me, if I had to select between those two, it would be the Breeze, hands down. But I personally still wouldn't trade my Deluxe for one. Yeah, the container's a little bit more clunky, but that extra capacity is a really big deal for me. If you'd like a little bit more information about any of these Ninja Creamis, we do have Amazon affiliate links to them down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, you might like this video right here where we show you the full product review for the Ninja Creami Breeze. While you're at it, you might want to check out our reviews of the other machines as well. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.